Of Unit 9C, still we are in consumerism. Unit 9C now. It's not 9B anymore, 9C. Okay? So look at the picture, Ben. You describe the photos and please answer the questions. We have 3 questions here.
Okay, so the first picture I see a man is holding a book in the forest, I think,
Yes?
in the cave, and another man on the second photo is a man on a cave
Hmm.
comes out from the way from cave.
Okay. So this is Mark Boyley and then Daniel Swallow. Okay. Now here, can you first answer the 2 questions?
Okay, I write it or I talk.
Better you
I'm
can talk or you
saying.
can write in here. It is up to you for this introduction.
Okay, I'll just write.
Based on the picture, Ben, ha?
Okay,
Okay. Maybe. I think it's two facing the hungry, thirsty. What does it mean? So can you live without money? Nowadays, of course you can. Ben, very hard to live without money nowadays. What do you think the biggest challenge would be? Do you think for you, you said facing hunger and being thirsty. Okay, if you are thirsty or if you are hungry, that would be the biggest challenge for you. Okay, famine and of course famine in general. Famine like uh less of food supply. We cannot eat a lot because less of food supply. So again, another challenge also for me, Ben, is living in this world without money. It's very, very hard nowadays. You try to live and you don't have money. You try it for yourself. It's very, very hard. Okay? Oh, okay. Okay. So let us have here the vocabulary. We have the word caravan, a road vehicle without an engine that is pulled by a car, designed for people to live and sleep in, especially when they are on the holiday. Ballet is a large amount of light material pressed tightly together and tied up. Impoverished to make somebody poor. Again, impoverished, it makes somebody poor. The wage, a regular amount of money that you can earn usually every week or every month for work or services. This is the wage, so the money that you receive. Coach surfing. Okay. So coach surfing, the practice of traveling around and staying with people you do not know who advertise their homes on the internet. Machine for cutting the grass and lawns. Okay. Cynical, believing that people only do things to help themselves rather than for good or honest reasons. Principle, it's a moral rule or a strong belief that influences your actions. That is your principle. So we have here, Ben, these people have lived without money. Could you? Again, these people have lived without money. Could you? So these are the two people that you can see or that you have seen in the picture. We have Daniel Cello and Michael, what's that? Michael, Mark Boyle. Okay. So you read the text and answer this statement. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, Ben?
Okay.
Okay, what is your answer? So we have here, these people have lived without money. So first we have Daniel Suelo has lived in a cave in Utah desert since 2000. Okay. He forages for food in the wild as well as going into town and hunting for leftover food and unwanted items. He's now in his late 60s and wants people to say that you needn't be slave to money. Oh, so the one living in the cave. Hyde Mary Schwimmer is in her 70s and has lived without money in Germany for over 20 years. She house sits for people and formed Germany's first exchange circle, give and take central, where people exchange goods and services, gives her pension money away, and has written a book about her experiences. There is now a film about Paige Mary called Living Without Money. So this one, she actually has a pension, but she managed to exchange goods and services. Okay, so instead of she gives her pension away, and then it's just like she exchanged for good and service. She's doing something, and you were gonna give him something in return. Mark Bailey, the one in the first picture in the introduction, Ben, is an Irish business graduate, lived without money for over 2 years during his 30s in a caravan on a farm. He grew his own food and made his own toothpaste. He has formed the Economy community where skills are shared online and is currently building his first house out of straw bales. Okay, so give your opinion on the people's lifestyle. Where's your answer, Ben?
Okay.
Sorry, Ben. Ah. Give your opinion on people's lifestyle.
So can I say or I
You can say if you
can I
want.
say okay. So first question, I think both three person have like pretty smart. They know how to control their life even though they don't have money.
Hmm?
Yeah,
So,
yeah, like
is it okay to live without money?
yeah, could live without money. So I think they pretty smart.
Okay, so it is okay to live without money for you. And these people have lived without money. How about you, Ben? Can you live without money? Can you live without money, Ben?
Um, no, cause I cause like I'm not a smart boy. I can think how to fix like that.
It's hard. Of course, generally, Ben, it's really hard to live without money nowadays. As what teacher Ann told you, it's very, very hard. Okay. So we have here, Ben. Let us have here introducing cave phrases. Okay, so when you try to have introductions, you can use this one. In my view, personally, as I see it, to my mind, my impression is I'm feeling that. As far as I'm concerned, I strongly believe these are some of the introducing key phrases. Okay. Now, listen to the information below, Ben, about Daniel and Heidi Marie, and decide if each sentence is fact, opinion, fact, it is false. It's fact, sorry, or only opinion. Write F, it's fact, or what words were used? Use the sentences.
Lesson 9C, Exercise 4. 1.
Daniel Suello graduated from the University of Colorado with a degree in anthropology. Then he worked with tribes in Ecuador for 10 years. So it's true that Daniel didn't always live outside society. As he worked in Ecuador, Daniel observed how the tribes started to follow Western economics. They began selling their best crops instead of eating them. Then the tribes used the cash for things which, in Daniel's view, they simply didn't need. What he noticed was that the richer the tribes became, the more their health declined. The truth is that money was impoverishing them.
2. Heide Maria Schwärmer was not born into poverty. In fact, her father was a successful businessman, but he lost everything in the Second World War. Undeniably, her family became very poor for a while, and it was a real shock to her how they were treated. Later, the family became rich again, but now Heide Maria was uncomfortable with it. She believed money had come to define her, and she didn't want this anymore. So she became fascinated with finding ways to live without money.
Okay.
Okay. So Daniel didn't always live outside the city. He said it is fact. Fact. It's true that. Okay. The tribe used the cash for things they didn't need. It's opinion. It's only Daniel's view. It's not real. It's not fact. Money was impoverishing them. The truth is, yes, this is what they believe. that money was impoverishing them. Hyde Mary's father was a successful businessman. Okay, it's true. Her family became poor for a while. Okay, undeniably. Okay, money has begun to define her. She believed that money had begun to define her. So that's probably the reason why she had a pension and she gave it away. Okay. Listen to the 3 recordings and choose the correct answers, A, B, or C. What is the purpose of the radio program?
Lesson 9C, Exercise 5. 1.
Welcome, listeners. In Money Box today, we will be talking about Mark Doyle, the moneyless man, and debating his tips for better living. Although Mark has now returned to the monetary world, he strongly believes that we should all cut down on our endless consumption of consumer goods. His first suggestion is, if you want to buy something, don't. First, have a look at websites such as FreeCycle and Freegal, where people post things they no longer need. You will be amazed at what people don't want. Secondly, if you want new clothes, organise a clothes swap with friends and neighbours. You will be surprised at how well they can work. Try to be more self-sufficient. Grow fruit and vegetables in pots or in your garden, and get hens for eggs. But Mark's top tip? Install a composting toilet. It saves money, water, and the environment. Now, how realistic do we think these proposals are? Here in the audience,
sige. Umangat to ko. Parang ako lagi ng pagka na po kumpay man ha. What is the purpose of the radio program? Okay, to discuss how practical the advice for cheaper living is. Okay. Number 2.
2.
Have you read this article? What do you think of these people who live without money?
It's quite impressive, isn't it? I know I couldn't do it.
Impressive? I think it's a joke. In fact, what they are doing is living off people who do earn and spend money.
That's a bit harsh, isn't it? My feeling is that people are entitled to their beliefs and to decide how they want to live.
No, they aren't. Not if they're criticising the rest of us for our beliefs and the way we live.
OK, but they do have a point. I mean, only the other day you were saying how we are being overcharged by banks and energy companies, and I think you're right. They do overcharge.
Yes, well, that's true. I suppose I'm just annoyed at all the things they suggest we do in order to avoid spending money. As far as I'm concerned, I haven't got the time to grow tomatoes on the balcony, or look after a chicken, or drive halfway across the country to look at someone's second-hand fridge. I need things now, and I need them fast.
But isn't that part of it? That modern life is so manic and work-driven that we don't have time to enjoy it.
Okay. So the speakers agree that, what then?
Can you listen again? I can hear the
2.
Have you read this article? What do you think of these people who live without money?
It's quite impressive, isn't it? I know I couldn't do it.
Impressive? I think it's a joke. In fact, what they are doing is living off people who do earn and spend money.
That's a bit harsh, isn't it? My feeling is that people are entitled to their beliefs and to decide how they want to live.
No, they aren't. Not if they're criticising the rest of us for our beliefs and the way we live.
Okay, but they do have a point. I mean, only the other day you were saying how we are being overcharged by banks and energy companies, and I think you're right. They do overcharge.
Yes, well, that's true. I suppose I'm just annoyed at all the things they suggest we do in order to avoid spending money. As far as I'm concerned, I haven't got the time to grow tomatoes on the balcony, or look after a chicken, or drive halfway across the country to look at someone's second-hand fridge. I need things now, and I need them fast.
But isn't that part of it? That modern life is so manic and work-driven that we don't have time to enjoy it.
Okay.
Sorry, but excuse me. The speakers agree that some large corporations make consumers pay too much. Okay, next one. Listen to the three recordings and choose the correct answers.
Three.
In a year, the average US citizen consumes 125 kilos of meat, uses 288 kilos of paper, and uses energy equivalent to 7.8 metric tons of oil. Compared to just 45 years ago, these figures have increased by more than a third. In my view, this tells us how unsustainable our consumer society is. If we look back into history, we find that the birth of the consumer society is very recent. For centuries, no one spent a significant amount of time or resources on shopping for goods produced far from home. Before the Industrial Revolution in America and most of Europe in the 19th century, the vast majority of the population lived in the countryside and worked in agriculture. Clothing and possessions were extremely limited and made in the same village. It is undeniable that at that time there was little money and few things to buy. Therefore, there was no such thing as a consumer. And until very recently, people valued their leisure time far more than earning more money.
Can I listen again?
3.
In a year, the average US citizen consumes 125 kilos of meat, uses 288 kilos of paper, and uses energy equivalent to 7.8 metric tons of oil. Compared to just 45 years ago, these figures have increased by more than a third. In my view, this tells us how unsustainable our consumer society is. If we look back into history, we find that the birth of the consumer society is very recent. For centuries, no one spent a significant amount of time or resources on shopping for goods produced far from home. Before the Industrial Revolution in America and most of Europe in the 19th century, the vast majority of the population lived in the countryside and worked in agriculture. Clothing and possessions were extremely limited and made in the same village. It is undeniable that at that time there was little money and few things to buy. Therefore, there was no such thing as a consumer. And until very recently, people valued their leisure time far more than earning more money.
Okay. Okay. Hello? What's next? What's next? Hello?
Okay, Ben. Okay, sorry, Ben. Okay. Next one. Okay. So discuss the questions. Support your opinion with the fact. Use some of the phrases in task 3. Okay. What is your attitude to money and buying things? What is your attitude to money and buying things?
Okay, with me.
What do you think is your attitude to money and in buying things?
Um, in my view, spending money on buying things is like I don't usually buy things, so I don't know what to say, but when I buy things, I don't spend thing on I don't spend money on things that I didn't need it. So sometimes I need, sometimes so I just go a few times a month, probably to buy food for eating and like that. Sometimes I buy something that I need, but just a few times. Yeah.
Okay. Next one, what is your attitude to money and buying things? Of course, if we don't have a lot of money, we can buy a lot of things, right? So that's only obvious. If we have money, we can buy a lot of things.
Okay.
So do you think our modern consumer society is sustainable? Why and why not?
Wait.
Do you think our modern society
Um, to my mind, I think it's uh, like it's not sustainable because to my mind, everything is sustainable because people nowadays buy things that they don't need and then they let at home for years like that. You just see things like when they buy online, they say they see the pictures pretty is kind of good, looking kind of good, but when we receive that, it's just a different goods or something. Then we put it away, throw away for years. We don't touch it like
Okay.
that.
So our modern consumer now, of course, our young generation. Do you think our modern consumers today is sustainable? So probably
Well,
of the technology, because of the technology that we have now, it probably will survive. Because when we say modern consumer, these are the people who consume. Okay, nowadays. Consumer are the people who buy food and who avail the services. So right now, I guess I can see that the modern consumer are mostly the young generation, as well as the parents of those young people. So if you think that if you ask if it's sustainable, for me, it will. How about you, Ben? Julian, ako na ka. Pagkaon na. It
I
will.
think is no,
No, why it's no, Ben?
because people now just buying things that they don't like, then throw away for
Okay.
years.
Okay. So that's probably your opinion, Ben. Okay, we have different opinions, right? Okay.
Okay.
Ben, Teacher Ann is sneezing a lot. I'm so sorry. Okay, so Ben, okay, let us continue this tomorrow. Task 7, we are not yet done. Okay? Sorry, Ben, I'm
Okay.
sleeping. Okay. I will see you tomorrow. What time again? 8 p.m. 8 p.m. Ben, right? I will see you 8 p.m. tomorrow. Hi, Ben. Ben. Hello.
Okay. Wait.
Sir?
Wait. Can you say it again?
Okay. So tomorrow I will see you. So what time will I see you tomorrow?
Like 8 p.m.
Okay, Ben. So I will see you at 8 p.m. tomorrow. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you so much, Ben, for today.
Okay.
Oh, Ben.
See you.
Okay, see you
Bye.
tomorrow.